Good day and welcome, and thank you very much for joining me today. I just want to give out a quick thank you for clicking on this video and giving me a chance, giving this video a chance. I know the subscriber count is very low at this moment, but that's because we're still just starting. And it's because of your support that this channel is growing. So I want to thank you very much, allowing me to give you my thoughts on whether or not this movie is worth it. Is it worth your time? Is it worth your money? And so how this is going to work, I'm going to give you my likes and then my dislikes and then finally my recommendation. All right, so this movie has a twist in particular that I think is mind-blowing. It's got huge consequences and it was so imaginative. It came out of nowhere and it just made me think for a while. In fact, I was thinking about it as I traveled back home. When the climax happens, things really ramp up and at this point you have no idea how it's going to play out. There are all kinds of options that are running through your mind, but even when you're going through step by step, these twists and these new ideas, it keeps going in directions where you're like totally not expecting. That climax in particular was really intense. I was glued to the screen. I was just in awe of the journey that we were going on, not just visually, which is amazing. I'll mention that in a second, but it was really just, where are we going and what's going to happen? Because the consequences were huge. And what they were implying was just extremely huge. It put all the characters in a position where there was a lot of conflict. Yeah, that twist and climax was absolutely the icing on the cake. Again, mind-blowing in its attention to detail, mind-blowing in its imagination for the artistic style. And there are things that were happening on screen that I really don't think they needed to go that far, but they did. So you're like drawn into the art world right from the beginning, and it doesn't stop throughout the whole movie because it just takes you on a wonderful visual journey that just is, again, just so beautiful and so creative. You wonder, as an artist, as I am, how did they pull this off? How did they do it? And then you just shut your brain off and stop thinking about how they did it, and you just enjoy it. So those were the things that I really liked about this film, because I didn't just like it, I loved that aspect. Now, the things that I dislike are, considering the fact that this movie is a bit long, I thought that there is a certain story element that is really a bit too long. I found that the beginning of the film is a bit slow because they end up covering a lot of the family dynamic, the family elements at the beginning. It is peppered throughout the film, but they spend a lot of that time right at the beginning. And I think that they could have cut that down somewhat. So now my recommendation, well, holy moly. I think there's a lot this movie has to offer. There is so much. That's the thing. Like, it's funny, it's serious, it's emotional, it's tense, it's mind-blowing, it's visually stunning, and it is a family film. And so that whole package, if you find that you enjoy anything about what I just mentioned, you're probably going to enjoy it to a certain extent. And if you like all of those points that I just mentioned, you're going to love this movie. It has so much more to offer. It takes what the first film had, it adds to that, and it leads you into the third film by putting your characters in the most intense, dangerous scenario. And I'm not going to spoil anything. You are just leaving this movie theater waiting for that third movie to happen. I'm telling you, if they were to have just rolled out the third film immediately, which would have put that for another probably 2 hours extra, making this like 4 to 5 hours long, I would have easily sat through it. That's how good this movie is to me. And so I'm losing my voice here, so I'm going to end on that. So I want to thank you again for joining me. And if you like what you see here, please consider subscribing. Please consider hitting the like button and commenting and letting that algorithm do all that. And plus the conversations that we could have. If you love movies and you love this movie in particular, let's talk about it. And so let me know what you think. And until next time, because we have a lot of movies to see still this summer. And until then, enjoy life. Take care. And I wish you well.